this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I'm going to show you how to make zoodles in the air fryer without a spiralizer. You will just love how delicious these non-spiralized zoodles are in the air fryer, and they are perfect for a quick lunch. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. So before we get started with this zoodles recipe, I wanted to introduce you to my nest of bowls. These are absolutely fantastic, and I had their original set. It's the Joseph and Joseph brand. And back then we got them for when we were moving house, and we thought it would be wonderful as a space saver. I mean, you could even take these camping with you, and we actually did with the previous set that we had. But we upgraded because our son managed to melt one of them. I think he left them on top of the stove top at some point, and it just couldn't sit together. It kind of bent a bit. And also the original one didn't have a mesh strainer, so we were excited to have the mesh strainer added to the collection. So what you have is you have your large mixing bowl, you have your regular strainer, and then you have your mesh strainer. Then you have a smallish bowl, which is fantastic for, say, if you're doing some icing to make lemon drizzle cake or something like that. And then you have all your little measuring cups over, like for example, that's 1 cup, and it goes all the way down to a teaspoon or a tablespoon. And you're probably wondering, what's this got to do with making zoodles? Well, I have to say, I absolutely love it for making zoodles, because I can use the bottom bowl for mixing the zoodles in. And then out of these top set here, the top one covers both a teaspoon and a tablespoon. So I can use this for adding just the right amount of oil in. And of course, like I mentioned, it doesn't take up much room in my kitchen because I can just put it to one side. Right amount of oil in. And of course, like I mentioned, it doesn't take up much room in my kitchen because I can just put it to one side. So now that I've talked about the bowls that I use, let me talk you through the ingredients that you need to do zoodles in the air fryer. Obviously, the actual courgette or zucchini, as they call it in the US and Australia. And as well as this, we use salt and pepper, basil, oregano, extra virgin olive oil, and also, absolute must for a lovely Mediterranean flavour, is some garlic puree. And then you're probably thinking, right, I'm talking here about making zoodles without a spiralizer. I absolutely hate spiralizers. They never seem to work. They always get the food clogged up in them, and it just feels like such a pain doing it. I mean, I must have tried about 10 different spiralizers, and I'm yet to find one that I like. So instead, what I have this. In France, they call them a julienne peeler, and I was gifted one for Recipe This many years ago, hence why it looks so damn scruffy, but it does the trick, and it's absolutely perfect for making zoodles with. So you grab your zucchini, and then what you do is you just use the side peeler, and it very quickly peels strips of the zucchini for you. And of course you can use the skin bits as well, and it's just fantastic. And you can do the exact same thing as well with other vegetables that you would normally use a spiralizer for. It's just a fantastic quick kitchen one, and then you can add whatever seasonings to it that you want. So if you look, I haven't quite finished this first one yet, and there's still quite a lot in this bowl. But my favourite bits are the skin bits because they just taste so good. And then as it gets smaller, just be careful of your hands. It would be really bad of me just to cut myself on video, wouldn't it? You can grab a few extra bits. Just be careful as you're going smaller. I don't like to go past that because I just end up having an accident. But like I say, it's so much easier than a spiralizer. And then of course, this bit you've got left, you can dice it up and then you could turn it into one of our sheet pan meals in the air fryer or whatever you prefer. And then on with the second one. And look, it's just so fast compared to the effort of a spiralizer. Funny thing is when you do this, you end up with that middle bit. So this bit, like I say, is perfect for chopping and doing with some zucchini. And there, that's how much you have of just 2 zucchinis. And just think of how quick I did it. And you know, you could do this, like I say, with other vegetables. My other favourite that the hubby always did for me, but we haven't had for a while, is using carrots. And with a little bit of coconut oil and seasoning in a pan, and that was fantastic for when we didn't have our gadgets with us. But you know, of course, you could do that in the air fryer too. And then you want to be adding in your seasonings to your bowl. So starting with salt and pepper. And then I also like to add some basil. You know, you depends how much basil you want. You can go with a teaspoon or a tablespoon. And then garlic puree. And then once you've done the garlic puree, the last ingredient left is the extra virgin olive oil. That's when this colour container comes into place. So a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil is all you need. And then what I can actually do with this is it's actually got a line just there, so you can actually go from teaspoon to tablespoon, which is brilliant. So it doubles up for both. And then once you've got all your seasonings in your bowl, it's time to get messy and mix them with your hands. It's just amazing. Now it's perfectly mixed and we're ready for loading it into the air fryer basket. So now the air fryer's plugged in, we're ready to load it up with the zoodles. So just load them all in. And I'm sure you can see now why I love this bowl with how big it is and how it can hold 2 full zucchinis. But what's interesting here is zucchini carries a lot of water, and when you air fry it, a bit of that water goes into the bottom, so it makes it much nicer compared to if you just did it in the wok. So now, placing your zoodles, and you're looking for 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit, and a cook time of 8 minutes. Then we can check on them, give them a quick extra virgin olive oil spray, and finish the cooking process. And we've beeped. So let's check on our zucchini, shall we? And wow. As you can see, they're doing well. And you can also see some lovely crisp developing on them as well, which is wonderful. But they need a bit longer because even though they're cooked now, zucchini, just like cucumber and watermelon, it holds a ridiculous amount of water. So it's all about getting as much of that water out as you can. So now, give it a quick spray with extra virgin because you want to get a better texture on it than it's got right now. And then you want to be getting it back on. This time, we're going all the way up to 200 Celsius, that's 400 Fahrenheit, and a cook time of 5 minutes. Beat. Oh wow, there's our zoodles. And as you can see, we've got some lovely crispy bits. And then some of the excess water and liquid has gone into the bottom of the air fryer basket, so it's just spot on that. You do get a few bits that get stuck to the air fryer basket, but overall it's lovely. But it's not a clean up operation like after breaded chicken or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And then they're ready for serving for dinner. For example, if you're following a low carb diet, you could do some air fryer skinny meatballs or something like that in the air fryer and serve it with them and use it as an alternative to spaghetti or pasta. And they're just fantastic for something quick and easy to cook in the air fryer. And of course, the full principal recipe card is free. You can find it on recipethis.com if you search for Zoodles. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.